Today, I have a very special guest, Jean, and he is the founder, the co-founder, from what I gathered, of Kanbox, which is LinkedIn CRM, scraping and email finding tool. And I'm really happy to welcome you, Jean, today. Thank you so much for making the time for this interview today.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me. It's nice.
Yeah, so during this interview, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and then we'll just go along with the flow and see what's up because I'm really interested to hear your insights on all matters related to LinkedIn, tools, CRM, and everything in between. Sounds good?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so I'm really going to start with some basic questions because I think it's important right now for independent consultants, advisors, and solopreneurs to understand what actually is scraping of LinkedIn and why do you do this?
Scraping of LinkedIn. Yeah, okay. LinkedIn is really restricting the way we can access data and we can access profile and information on users we see on LinkedIn. And so scraping is extracting data, extracting users out of LinkedIn to be able to use this information in other tools like CRMs, like cold mailing tools or stuff like that. So it's just a way to extract data, in fact.
Okay, and so what's the purpose of scraping LinkedIn afterwards?
Uh, so when we scrape LinkedIn, the idea is then to use the data to be able to do your own outreach in other tools. Like I was telling cold mailing tools or like CRM tools or calling tools. I don't know whatever tool you want to use
Mhm.
with the data of LinkedIn to be able to reach people.
Yeah, so basically, like LinkedIn is the biggest, at least one of the biggest
Exactly.
business
Yeah.
kind of databases, and they want to charge people for
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
information, and then basically the tools for scraping basically help to kind of go above the limit somehow,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's pretty much what scraping is in this
LinkedIn
case.
is really, for sure, the biggest database for lead generation and stuff like that. And they are clearly having rules and limits which prevent you from doing what you want with the data. And so the idea with scraping is to go above these limits, yeah, indeed, and
Hmm.
being able to use this biggest database in the world to be able to do your lead generation and to do your outreach.
Okay. And if we're talking about, say, consultants and financial advisors that I work with right now, how can they um, how can they scrape LinkedIn? How can you do this actually for themselves, for their own businesses?
As there are different tools which allow you to scrape LinkedIn. Kanbox is one of them. There are other tools like that. Um, if you want to be able to scrape LinkedIn properly, you will need a subscription on LinkedIn, like a Sales Navigator subscription, because when you're a free account, you're really restricted and it's really not efficient. You won't be able to scrap much. You will be able like to scrap maybe 100 profile per day or something like that, and it's really limiting if you want to to do mass contacts and mass lead generation.
Hmm.
And so different tools. Canbox. There are other ones like Wallaxy in France also is another tool. Closely in the US, I think, and
Hmm.
well, different tools like that.
Yeah, I think Everboot was one of them as well.
Also, indeed,
Yeah, yeah, from your compatriot, from what I gathered as well.
another French tool. Yeah,
Yeah,
Everboot.
it's crazy. Like the French tools are just at some stage where, like, I'm talking to some friends of mine. Like these French guys, they've got something LinkedIn automation kind of thing going on there. Like they sit in one coffee place or something, and they come up with it. Well, we should
I
do
don't know
another
why
one.
we are so many doing tools in French for over LinkedIn. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really
it's crazy. It's just like this. We are like.
don't know what happens.
No, no, it's so interesting. I guess it also kicked off with like Lamlist founder Guillaume, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it probably kicked off this whole process. So it's very interesting how this ecosystem got created,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
mm.
But we
and
see some other
yeah.
tools in the US also coming. Hey, I think it's in the US. I'm not even sure. There is one, for instance, which is HeyRich, which is quite interesting because it allows you to scrap to create teams and to scrap by team
Mm.
a lot of leads out of LinkedIn. Well, it's a competitor, but yeah, they are not only French tools.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating, this stuff. And in terms of when it comes to the state of LinkedIn automation, like what do you see going on right now? What is the state of it? Like, are there more tools coming up, or do you think that the LinkedIn automation is kind of it's already been in its golden age and it's kind of coming down? Like all in all, overview from what you can see.
Yeah, from what I can see, I think uh, it's still efficient, but less and less because there are more and more restrictions over LinkedIn. I think 2 years, 3 years ago, you were able to scrape a lot and to do a lot of automations, to send a lot of invitations in LinkedIn, even if you were a free LinkedIn account. But now more and more, it's really difficult. LinkedIn restricts, I think, like 100 invitation per week. So it's really not a lot if you want to be able to do mass lead generation. And another thing is also that people are getting used to receiving these generic mass cold messages over LinkedIn. And so it's also less and less efficient. And you have to, I think, personalize more and more your messages to be able to get the attention of your leads. And so I think automations, yeah, is less and less efficient. You have to personalize more and more. You are more and more limited. And so you have to do it more and more manually, in fact. But you can still do it in a way and being able to get leads over LinkedIn because it's still efficient. There are a lot of people using LinkedIn every day, and it's quite a good rate you can get from LinkedIn compared to cold emails and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's still
Yeah,
useful, even if it's not as useful as it was like 3 years, 4 years ago.
yeah, that's a really good insight, and I can attest to that myself. I
Mm,
up until I think June, I last June 2023, I was
mm,
I was using Walaxy, and I was just sending out those connection requests because Walaxy had they had like all the other tools like Dripify as well. They had this
mm,
way to connect with more than 800 connections to what is limited by LinkedIn Sales Navigator in a month time, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator limits your connection limit to 200 people to every single week. Yeah, so it's like over 4 weeks in a month. That's roughly 800 people. And
yeah,
yeah, and then it just stopped at some stage. I'm looking at my dashboard in Galaxy, and I'm like, what is going on? Why am I only sending out like that little connection requests? And then I
yeah,
reach out to the support team, and they're like, yeah, it's LinkedIn changed this then. And
mm,
I wasn't happy with I mean LinkedIn is LinkedIn, I get it, but I wasn't happy with the Galaxy team not really communicating this, you know.
yeah,
And I was like, guys, come on, like I pay for one thing, I'm getting the other. At least give me some. They upgraded me to the like business plan or whatever is the highest tier, so I could use their email thing as well for a month. But
yeah,
yeah, it was just I understand it, you know. It's I don't it's okay, I get it, but just the communication part was missing. So I was like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's all right. Come
Exactly.
on. But it is what it is. Yeah,
Mm,
and um, I think also the important component, and this is something from my comment, I want to ask for your opinion as well. I think people get automation wrong because people believe that automation is a way to sell the product, which, in my opinion, is skipping quite a few steps in between. For me,
yeah,
automation is just an efficient way of connecting with people that fill up, like that fall into my ideal customer profile, and then I take it from there. I build up the relationship, and then that's when the selling starts. So I think people really miss the step. And I know it worked back in the day. Yeah, like where you just pitch people with whatever you have. But
Yeah.
now it's like have to have people, and automation helps to do this. So I have personally no problem with it right now. Do you feel
Mm.
like it makes sense or
I completely. I think it's more people are changing their mind now, and I think it's more, you have to get more and more close to your leads to be able to sell something. You cannot, send them a generic message and hope that they will answer. It won't work. You will
yeah,
have to, yeah, get in relation with them to create a relationship, and then you will be able to propose something maybe.
yeah,
But you have to get credibility. Otherwise, it won't work. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. Yeah. I think some people still think that sending generic messages to people you don't know it will work, but no, it won't work anymore.
crazy. It's crazy,
Mm.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
like it occurs to people as totally normal. It makes sense, but like when you change the domain and like, oh,
Mm.
say your example, for example, you're walking in the street and then somebody comes to you, is like, do you want to sell? They're like, do you want to buy my stuff? You look at the person and they're crazy. You're like, what's going on? Just leave like that.
Exactly.
Like, what's going on? So, but in direct messages, it's fine for some reason. Like, come on, what's going
Yeah.
on with you?
It's easier. Yeah, it's easier. Once they accept that you're close to their network, that you have the same
Yeah,
kind of interest, you can start to speak with them. Mm.
yeah. Regarding LinkedIn Sales Navigator, do you think I'm curious because you essentially built up an extension to LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Do you believe that LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a good product, or is it missing any features from your point of view?
Alors, I would say it's an interesting product because I think the strength of LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the way we can search for leads. The filters they propose are really
Database is really
advanced.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, and you can really find your target and being able to then to scrape it. But what I don't like in Sales Navigator is the inbox,
it's
which is
horrible.
useless.
It's horrible.
It's also the way they do their subscription, because if you at one point you stop your
It's
subscription,
horrible. Yeah,
you will lose everything. So it's stupid. I mean, you started to speak with people, you have an history, and then just because you cannot pay for a month, you lose everything.
yeah,
So yeah, I think for me, Sales Navigator is good for finding people and exporting them to use other tools for that, for the outreach.
yeah. Do you think it's missing any features? Like, is there anything that would be like, okay, Sales Navigator needs like this and this and that?
Uh, there can be probably more advanced features, more advanced filters, I wanted to say.
Like
Uh,
what, for example? Do you have any ideas?
um, like by finding by publications, or by by what people publish on LinkedIn, by
Yeah,
their interests, stuff like that, because then you are really able to personalize.
psychodemographics. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Hmm.
But otherwise, no. I mean, well, it's quite okay to search. Then I would do the inbox quite differently. I wouldn't have one personal inbox and one Sales Navigator inbox. I would merge them. If I'd be LinkedIn, I would merge the different inboxes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, and do stuff differently. But otherwise, well, for searching, it's okay.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I think it's great. Like it seems that the database team is doing a really good job. It's like it's
Mm,
really good.
mm,
Then the dashboard team and like this user experience team, they're either like pushing users to use on LinkedIn, and you pointed out completely correct. You lose access to your messaging inbox. Let's say as Navigator, if you stop paying for it, that's why I
mm.
tell all my clients, it's like if you add people, manually, you have to add them through LinkedIn. So you have to go that extra click. So you
Yeah,
add them on LinkedIn and then communicate with them on
exactly. Yeah,
in the
I
box
agree.
there. So,
Mm.
but it is what it is.
Completely. Good. Mm.
And when it comes to Kanbox, like was creating a LinkedIn CRM your initial idea, or did you somehow pivot into it?
Sorry, I didn't get it. What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say?
So was creating a LinkedIn CRM your initial idea, or did you pivot into it somehow?
Um, my our initial idea, I'm working with an associate. Our
Hmm.
initial idea was really to improve the LinkedIn inbox because
Ah.
it's really not really convenient. You cannot classify anything. You cannot find or yeah, find the history in important messages and stuff like that. And so when I was using LinkedIn quite much in another job before, I
Hmm.
was quite frustrated because I was missing some important messages. I wasn't able to classify my messages. And it's the same for your connections, for your first degree relations. You cannot classify them. You cannot organize yourself to be able to send them personal message depending on the group they belong to. So we started with that. We started to develop a product to remove this frustration. So we created an inbox um, features over the LinkedIn inbox in order to address these needs, to be able to classify, to be able to search for messages with different filters like message you never answered or stuff like that. And also to be able to classify your connections. So that's the first uh, need which was addressed by Kanbox. Then we, starting to have users and clients, we added some other features over this, like the scraping functionality, because a lot of users were asking for it. They were telling, yeah, the inbox is great, but we would like also to import leads out of Sales Navigator or out of LinkedIn in order to put them in the inbox and to start sending them messages. So that's why we did this part then. And then we added the CRM over it also because we wanted people were asking for a way to organize themselves and to create workflows over their outreach. And so we created pipelines for that to have a visual way to process leads you want to address over LinkedIn. Yeah.
Hmm. I think it's a thanks for sharing. I think it's a brilliant start because LinkedIn inbox was something that I was personally looking for as a solution myself.
Yeah.
And I remember when Wellexy rolled it out and made it like a standalone paid kind of feature. And I I used it. I didn't like it that much, but then I tried it on Expandy as well. So they had the
Yeah.
inbox feature. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It was just horrible. It wasn't syncing all the messages that were coming in, and it was just really bad. And
It's buggy.
yeah, yeah. Wellexys was the best at the
Yeah.
time, but it was just I also tried Lead Delta, so I tried a good
Yeah.
few LinkedIn inboxes, but like yours, I like the best, and it's crazy because it's just so simple and it works. It's really quick because the problem with say Expandy was that well, it wasn't syncing all the incoming messages.
Yeah.
Wellexy was yeah, it seemed like it was over like it was pretty expensive altogether because you pay
Yeah.
for the
Yeah. Yeah. You pay 20
basic
bucks for
features.
the input, I think.
Yeah, and then Lead Delta was just slow. Really, it was just like really taking time to load, and you click and you wait, and yeah, so
Yeah.
it was something that I was really happy to see in Canbox working really, really, really well, and it's so simple. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the question that I had was, why did you decide to create another LinkedIn CRM? So basically, just as a result of user feedback, or was there
Yeah.
something else?
But yeah, it's a result of user feedback and also um, of our own experience. I mean, we are using LinkedIn every day to sell or to propose our product. And we wanted a way to organize ourselves over LinkedIn. And so it was quite natural for us to create a simple, really simple CRM over LinkedIn to be able to organize all this outreach. And so, yeah, that's what, and also we saw that it wasn't something which was really proposed by any competitors at the moment we did it. So we thought it was really a good, yeah, a good move to do that.
And in your opinion, what makes the best LinkedIn CRM? What are the features? What are
But I think what is important is that it's really linked with LinkedIn. I mean, you can use other CRMs like Pipedrive and put LinkedIn users in it, but the strength of Kanbox is that it's really tied to LinkedIn, that you really have all the LinkedIn actions inside the CRM. You can archive conversation, you can delete the
so
conversation.
Pipedrive is not hooked to LinkedIn.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, I'm just asking. I because this is
No,
something I
no,
was talking about with my client,
no.
and he mentioned Pipedrive. He's like, I will also because I was showing him Kanbox the other day,
Yeah.
and
But
he was like,
uh,
uh,
Pipedrive
and
is interesting because you will have the emails in it, but you
yeah,
won't have.
that's one of the questions that I want to ask you about Kanbox. Yeah.
But yeah, we will evolve on this. Yeah, we will propose
Well,
emails.
I'll ask you. I'll ask you going
Okay,
forward.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, the strength is really to have something simple over LinkedIn with
Mhm.
completely tied to LinkedIn to have the LinkedIn action in it, to be able to send messages, to be able to have in real time the conversation of the you can have with the user and all these kind of little features. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, and this part is important about the continuous synchronization because people from when I was searching for a solution, I was like, okay, I thought it was like immediate, like with the inbox. I would just send a message and I see it right away when someone texts me. But apparently,
Mm.
that's actually quite tricky to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that straightforward with LinkedIn. So I was
No,
really,
but
yeah,
it was
people don't
quite challenging
understand this.
from a technical point of view to be able to do this real-time messaging,
Synchronization, yeah.
synchronization. Yeah. And so we have some little bugs sometimes, but it works quite well, I think, on Canbox.
It's really
Uh,
good. Like,
yeah, compared to other tools, it's okay. I mean, it's
yeah.
we worked a lot on this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, and that's another thing with glitchiness, yeah. Because and I've been using Canbox like daily now for what is it like 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks so far, and
Yeah.
I'm still like I haven't seen any glitchiness, anything. It works flawlessly. It's fast. It's quick. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, it's really really good.
Happy
So really,
to hear
no,
that.
no, I'm like when it comes to giving feedback, like I'm really ruthless. I come out and say this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. But like so far, I'm like I'm sad because I'm not getting any food myself in this regard. I've
Oh, that's cool.
no
Perfect.
yeah, I have no bad feedback, so it kind of sucks. I'd still give you 4.4 stars out of 5, so you keep progressing. So you don't grow complacent.
Yeah. No, no, yeah.
Yeah, but you get where we're coming from. Okay. And this is something, this is more related to my subject.
Mm.
Do you think of social selling when creating Canbox?
Um, sorry, what did you say? Did you, sorry, I
Did
didn't
you
get
think of social selling when creating Canbox?
ah,
So basically, social selling is this idea of basically getting on people's radar and building up a relationship between before actually pitching something. So that
yeah.
that is the whole purpose of social
Like,
selling.
yeah, completely. Yeah, completely. Um, I think we have still stuff to do, but yeah, the idea at the point of when we created the CRM, the idea was this: it's really being able to create workflows in order to have steps in which you can start to, well, you create your step to be able to create a relationship with the users. And at one point, you start to send messages to propose your product. But yeah,
Mhm.
the idea with these steps, with these workflows, is really to be able to create a relationship. So that was really the starting point of this.
Yeah. And I really like the way you haven't really I mean, the idea is not new. Yeah. It comes from Kanban, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
approach. Yeah. So it's like you didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. You just
Oh,
executed really well.
exactly. No, yeah, it's quite old. Trello, I mean, I think is one of the first proposing Kanban like that. It was, yeah, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe not 10 years ago. So it's really not new. Pipedrive did it also in the CRM, and I think that was their strength at the beginning compared to other CRM like Salesforce at one point. And so, yeah, there was nothing on LinkedIn with that. And so, yeah, I think it was the reason why we did this move, because it's really convenient to have this visual representation of your workflow and to be able to create your workflow step by step like that.
Yeah. When it comes to safety, and this is the first question, I think this is maybe the first or second question that I asked you over the chat support when I started using it. Is Kanbox CRM safe to use with LinkedIn?
For us, it's really an important, really important question, really important.
And before, sorry, Jean, to interrupt you, I just
Yeah,
want to specifically mention why this question is here because people might not know.
yeah,
LinkedIn is very strict when it comes to automation. And automation is not just adding contacts automatically, it's also use of any software that potentially uses LinkedIn capacity. Like in this case, it's Canbox as well. So it's also considered automation, if I'm not mistaken, Jean, and you can correct me
yeah,
here.
exactly, exactly. No, no, you're right, you're right.
So the question of safety, even if you're using inbox feature and you're not scraping LinkedIn profile, which can be seen by some as something more dangerous than just using an inbox, is still like this question of safety is important. So that's why the question about Canbox being safe for using with LinkedIn, that's where it
Yeah,
comes from.
yeah. So
Thank you.
LinkedIn is quite strict indeed in and tries to detect automation. And for us, it's really important to have your account safe and to be able to avoid it being restricted by LinkedIn. And so it's one of our main concerns, and we put a lot of time in working on this. For that, our idea is really to mimic the human behavior when you use Canbox. So when Canbox does synchronization in the background and scraping and automation or bulk actions, it will try to mimic what you could do when you do it manually. And so it will add delay between actions. It will add random time between actions. It will really try to, yeah, to avoid LinkedIn seeing that it's not a human which is doing these actions, but it's a software. That's why also we chose to do a Chrome extension because the Chrome extension will use a browser to send queries to LinkedIn. And so it will do exactly what you do when you are on the LinkedIn interface. It will use your IP address. It will use your cookies. It will be exactly as you would do it on LinkedIn. And so it's not possible for LinkedIn to differentiate a query which comes from Canbox and a query which comes from your browsing of LinkedIn. The only thing is really not having too fast queries or stuff that you could not do manually, because it's the only thing that could allow LinkedIn to detect that it's not a human which is behind. And for us, yeah, it's really, really an important thing to try to avoid putting your account at risk with LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being transparent regarding this question. If I may, I want to dig deeper into this Chrome extension stuff because it is, I hear some people, yeah, specifically mention that having Chrome extensions for LinkedIn is actually not so safe because of Chrome extension, like LinkedIn Chrome extension would inject some kind of a code on LinkedIn. And I don't have any technical background, so I cannot comment on that. But that's what I heard. That's what I understood from reading some of that information. So having a Chrome extension is actually one of the say risk factors, so to speak. Can you comment on that a little bit? Maybe it's
Yeah,
totally off,
yeah,
or
yeah.
if you know anything about it, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. We analyze this problem. In fact, I think it was true some years ago.
Hmm.
when extensions and when automation started like 4 years ago, well, like 3 or 4 years ago, LinkedIn added a script in its code to analyze the page and try to find markers in the page which were identifying an extension, a specific extension. And so they listed, they identified like the most used extensions. They tried to identify markers in the page for these extensions, and they added a script so that when the user was having one of these extensions, it was putting an alert to the user, hey, you're using automated tools or extensions. Please remove them before we restrict your account. But now it's really easy to prevent this script from working. It's really easy to with the Chrome extension to block this script or to make this script answer to LinkedIn. There is no extension. There is no extension, even if there is one. It's really easy to do.
Okay.
And so I
Well,
think it's
I
not
hope nobody
using
from
more.
LinkedIn. I hope nobody from LinkedIn will watch this because like, come on,
I
what are we
think
up to?
they don't evolve their script anymore. I watched the code of this script.
Mm,
It didn't change
John,
for
I
some.
love the way how you said it. Some people watch like, read the news every day and you just check out the LinkedIn script every day. Just wake up. Like, man, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
And so for me today, extensions is not a problem of having an extension or injecting code because
Hmm.
you can clearly
They're
prevent.
not running it right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm really happy to hear this response from you because it shows that you care and you're observing what is going on, and
yeah.
it gives me like some security in a way. But say if they rolled out like it's silent up, it's like a turkey that's being fed for Thanksgiving, right? Everything is good up until it's not. What if they start like actively searching for some extensions, like? Is there anything that you can do, or you're not? Is it simple to fix, or will it change anything for
You mean if
Canbox?
they evolve their script to try to find
Yeah,
other extensions?
exactly.
It's really easy to fix.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay. So
no,
cool.
yeah.
That's all I need to know. Good. And if somebody has any questions regarding this, please comment in the comment section there.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
Jean will be there to respond.
yeah,
Good.
for sure.
Let's talk about the state. I only have a few more questions. So I really want to talk to you about the state of LinkedIn lead generation in 2024. And it's particularly interesting because we're now in February, and I think it's starting from February that Google, or Gmail more specifically, they rolled out this anti-spam thing, and I have it now everywhere. All these newsletter companies that I signed up to in the past, they reached out and said, guys, you have to be really, really careful when sending emails now because of these new spam regulations. So, what is the state of LinkedIn lead generation, maybe lead generation in general in 2024? What are you seeing?
I see it's more and more difficult to be massive and to do massive lead generation, I think. And from the tools, from Google, from LinkedIn, it's gets more and more watched and restricted. And from users also, because they don't want, as I said, generic lead generations. They really want to get in relationship with you before accepting to pay something. And so for me, there is a switch which is happening more and more, which is you have to be less massive, to be more personalized, to be
Hmm.
more authentic with your relationships when you want to sell something. And so you have to, yeah, to really find the good people you want to reach, and then to really create a relationship with them, and then to really be personalized, to have really a personalized relationship, really personalized messages. And this will be the way to to do lead generation more and more, I think, because massive lead generation, I think it won't work for long. in email and in LinkedIn is the same. Yeah.
Yeah, this is thanks for your reply. This is what I'm observing as well. It's like because in a sense, in reality, like lead generation is kind of a more of like a hacking technique. Yeah, so once you have a business and then you like kind of start hacking it, but in
Mm.
reality, it's like any business is more stable once you have a community built around it. You have people that trust the business, like you're building the brand and going in the long run. And that's what truly matters when it comes to repeat buyers and purchasing. So at some stage, you don't even need to chase the clients anymore. They just knock your door because you've established your credibility, you've built up the relationship, you've proven the product, you've got it all set up. So that's 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 what I see as well. It's like in a way, I would call I would maybe even stop calling like lead generation lead generation. I would call it like friend making or something like that. You know, so you can drag people inside your network, your ecosystem, like say to your LinkedIn account, and then this is where you start just talking to them using,
Yeah,
for example, Kanbox to do the customer relationship management CRM stuff. And
yeah,
that's what I feel like lead generation in 2024 is going towards.
exactly. I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, and you've prepared for it beautifully. I really like that you have this still you have these features that help to use you know scraping basically and to launch it for this cold email stuff, but you also built up for the loaner run like the
Yeah.
CRM, which is a lot more personalized approach. It's very
Yeah,
good. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
what's the best campaign type to generate clients for a service business? Would you be able to
What?
reply to that one?
Sorry, what's the best
All right.
what?
Yeah, no problem. What's the best campaign type to generate clients for a service business? That is a very specific question.
Hmm.
Maybe you can share your own experience, you know, from Canbox, because I
Yeah,
believe
for
you've done
Canbox,
something. Yeah.
what works the best, what we did, in fact, and what works quite well is to, yeah, kind of create a community over LinkedIn. To what we do, in fact, we target influencers, people who are quite well known over LinkedIn, who have kind of a community over LinkedIn. We target these guys with our approach, like scraping out of Sales Navigator and then using our CRM to
Organize it.
create a relationship with these guys. And
Yeah.
then we try to involve them into the evolution of our tool and to then propose them to go to their community and to propose the tool to their community. That's what works quite well because in fact it's really a personalized approach with
Yeah. Yeah.
influencers, and then this influencer have also this personalized approach with their community. So for
Mhm.
us, it's a good way to do it. And at first, we started to try to do massive cold mailing, and it wasn't working so well.
Interesting. So you actually tried the cold mailing approach, but it didn't evolve for you, even though it's a SaaS kind of a product as well.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
so yeah, for us, it's better to find people with a big audience
Hmm.
and to apply them into the product, into the roadmap, and to, yeah, to create like that real relationship with them.
And did you create maybe do you have your own community of people where you know, like for example, I know if you're familiar, a tool called Server SEO, they the guys are based in Poland and they launched a good few years ago and they're really like evolved through building the you know SEO community and then they were just getting constant feedback and that's how they grew basically from there.
But we are really at the beginning. We start to create a community, but it's, yeah, we have to grow it. It's really the beginning for us on this.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing the right thing then now for you as well. So it's a long-term play, and I'm glad that you know that I could maybe help you out with this a little bit.
Yeah. Mm.
Now we're going to this question which you kind of mentioned at the start. If you have any plans to integrate email boxes to Canbox.
Yeah. Yeah, we think so because I think multi-channel outreach works quite well. And if you have we want to not being completely tied to LinkedIn, and we want to be able also to propose to people who have leads coming from outside of LinkedIn to be able to use them in their tool, because otherwise they will be quite limited if they have leads out of different sources and they cannot unify everything into our tool. It will be a limitation, and so that's why we want to add the email part also in the tool, because for leads who are not on LinkedIn or you don't have the LinkedIn profile of them, you also want to be able to reach them in a way. And so the email is on the other way. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will go for sure during the year, maybe not very well, not in the coming months, but yeah, maybe at the end of the year we'll go with emails or something.
Yeah, it's makes a lot of sense. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were saying that LinkedIn has become quite limited in terms of their reach, and this is something that I mean, I'm always predicting this, yeah, because it's just so natural that all these tools do. Yeah, it's like it happened to Facebook, it happened to Instagram, it happened to everybody. Yeah, LinkedIn is happening now.
Yeah.
So you really want to diversify, yeah, make sure that you are touching different platforms, but
Mm,
then at some stage you really want to have it all gathered in one specific place, and your CRM can be one of those solutions for sure. So it's a really good plan.
mm. Okay, but I hope so.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the final question that I have for you, if you don't have anything, what's the outlook for Canbox? Any other features, anything interesting you're cooking except for what I've asked about?
Yeah, but we will add some automations on the pipelines. That's
Okay. Sounds
our main goal in the coming weeks, in the coming 2 months.
and what is it going to look
Not to
like?
be
I'm
massive, but it's
excited.
yeah, exactly. It's not to be, yeah, it's not, as I said, not to be massive and to have massive automation. It's really to be able to create sequences and to avoid having to manually send some actions every day and having the tool doing it for you for just some simple actions like sending a message to people in a specific step of your outreach or sending an invitation to.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, that's actually a
Exactly.
good one. Because then you can have like say I've got this leads then that everybody I reached out to with I have it really nicely, like I'll share, because I have it really nicely working with the automation tool that I've been testing for
Mm,
the past 2 weeks. And every time I get people, it's this message is sent out to people. I mean, they accept my connection request. After that, the message is sent out to them.
yeah.
um, Most of them do not reply, which is totally normal, but they show up afterwards in Canbox, and I'm able to kind of select them in select in bulk, and I really love it because some tools don't have that. Like Wellixy didn't have this bulk selection when I was using it. It was crazy, and so you don't have to click on all the profiles
Okay.
and, and you just select the whole thing and move them to leads. And
Mm,
then if I get the reply, for example, I would then update them and move them to the next stage. But if I don't get a reply and I have this one same message that I want to send to all those people at the same time,
mm.
and I would have a message like that, obviously, because I like efficiency. And yeah, that having something like that would be super dope. Sounds like a really cool feature.
Yeah, I think it's really, well, even for us, I mean, it's something we want because it will be much more easy to do our outreach and to follow our process automatically. We won't have to do manually the move of people who have answered, and that will be, I think it will be great. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's great. Any final anything else you want to share that I didn't ask about? Anything interesting?
No, I don't know. It was a great interview. A lot of questions. Very interesting about LinkedIn limitations, about the way lead generation is evolving. Well, I think it's okay for me.
Great. John, thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been great to meet you, and I wish you every success. I will have all the links to Canbox, to your profile on LinkedIn. Anybody can go out there, check out the tool, connect with you, and yeah, take it from there. I wish you every success. The tool is
Thank you.
great. I've absolutely loved it, and yeah, every success to you.
Yeah, thanks for the interview. It was really great and pleasure.
Thank you so much.